Hello, College Church. Father Quang Tron here. I miss y'all. I am always grateful to you for the love and support you poured out upon me when I was there as a brand new priest in my first year. Um, Grateful to Father Dan's mentorship and the wonderful, top notch staff there at the College Church. I know some members are no longer there. I think, in particular, Mary Beth and Jane and others who uh, have gone before us. I think about them as well and pray for their repose. I'm sure they're praying for us. Um, well, currently, I am in my third year of the doctoral program in counseling psychology at Boston College. I see it as another opportunity to um, share people's joys and challenges and sufferings, which I think complements very well with the priesthood. Um, it's a long way of getting certified to be a fortune teller. we we can't predict behavior any better than anybody else, but it is a wonderful opportunity to be able to um, walk with people uh, during their most joyful times and in their most difficult times. As you know, it's been rough, a rough 6 months um, with the pandemic and all the issues of racial injustice. Um, just trying to ask for the grace, not to be cynical, not to get into that dark place. Um, for the record, there was no pandemic when I was there. You can blame Father Matthew Ball for it. Not under my watch. There was no pandemic. Uh, it's all Father Ball's fault. um, One of the images that gets me through is the gospel passage that Pope Francis used for his prayer service there, where Jesus was sleeping on the boat during the storm. I love naps as much as Jesus did. And even though he's sleeping, and it seems like he's sleeping in quiet, he's still in control. He's still in charge. Recently, I spoke with a bunch of little kiddos, ages 3 to 6 years old, and I asked them, what do you think God looks like, or what does He sound like, or what is God? Um, and some of them said, God or Jesus looks like this man with a beard, or God looks like light, or God looks like a lion, or God looks like a dragon. And then some said, oh, God sounds like this, with a deep, deep voice, or God sounds like my mom or my dad. And I was like, well, be careful what you say around your kids, right? And then I asked them another question. I said, what does Jesus smell like? And then some kids were like, oh, he smells like sheep. Well, that's a good answer. And then some people were like, he smells like bread and wine. I said, that's also a good answer. And then another kid goes, he smells like popsicles. And I was like, well, no one can say that you're wrong. Okay, he smells like popsicles. But the takeaway for me was, even during these difficult times, those kiddos still see God, hear God, smell God. And that has been very hopeful for me. um, that has gotten me through some of these few months. A reminder of how wonderful it is to be a priest, not just an ordained minister, but living our priesthood as baptized people. Facilitating that meeting between Christ and those who really hunger and long for Him during this time. I hope to see y'all one day again soon. Please keep me in your prayers and know that you're in mine. God bless.
Hi, College Church. Father Juan Carlos reaching out from Boston College in Boston, Massachusetts, where I've been since I left College Church in 2017. Currently, I am working on my PhD in philosophy. I am in my 4th year of the program, and with God's help, I will be able to finish in 1 more year, and that will allow me to go back to active ministry, which I hope it will be to teach philosophy in one of our universities, maybe even back at SLU. Evidently, this is a time of many changes, many things are going on in the world right now, and I think that we have all experienced the difficulties of the last couple of months. When I think about my own experience in the last months, I think about all the challenges that we faced. In my case, as a student, also I'm teaching a class for undergrads, and I think that some of the challenges during that time were that suddenly I was not able to be any more present physically or spiritually to students in the midst of a very stressful time. I think it was very challenging that basically in a week we were asked to change from teaching in person to teaching online. Again, suddenly with no preparation, we needed to become these proficient teachers in teaching remotely. That was difficult and challenging. I think also on a more personal level, as a priest, evidently I'm not working full time in a parish right now, so I didn't have the opportunity to kind of like keep in touch with people through the priestly ministry, through virtual masses or other ways in which churches were creative during this time. Evidently, in my position as a student here, I was basically just in my room, reading, preparing classes, doing my own research, and basically that was it. I think that speaking about my particular experience, it was kind of like being forced to become a monk suddenly from somebody from a Jesuit, a missionary Jesuit, to being a monk without evidently choosing that vocation. So that was difficult, but we move forward, and I think the other thing that was difficult, or at least it's a lingering difficulty for the future. Once again, as a Jesuit, as a Society of Jesus, our missionary character, our desire to be out in the world, and suddenly being in again force, or just you needed to stay at home. So I think there's a tension in that that has created several questions that will need to be addressed in the future, evidently. But well, that is, as I'm sure all of you have experienced difficulties throughout these months, and we're all kind of dealing with what happened or what is happening. But there's also a lot of good things, evidently, because God can always bring out good things out of bad things. Only God can create goodness out of evil and darkness. So I think there's a lot of positive things that happen and are happening as we speak right now. I think that during the past month, I needed to go to the chapel more than ever. I was trying to go to the community chapel here more than I ever did before. I knew that with God I could move forward. I knew that I needed His help in order to, again, I guess we'll say, keep ourselves mentally and spiritually sane during very difficult or challenging times. So I think that for me, with other experiences in the past, I think that there is a greater desire in me to remain faithful to Christ and to be Christ-like, and to recognize that God is in charge, that I just need to put myself in His hands and trust in His providence and His love, that He will take care of everything at the end. So, I think about all the grateful things of the last months, and right now, what I'm the things that I'm so grateful. Well, I'm definitely so grateful to go back to the classroom and to be able to teach the students and try to give them the best experience that they can have as undergrads, and to teach them philosophy and make them help them to become excited about philosophy, and to see how philosophy can affect their lives, and how philosophy can change their lives moving forward, especially with all the challenges of today. I am so grateful, that I can speak to you right now and to connect with you, even though I cannot be there physically. I think it's a great thing that these times have provided this communication. When I think about my year at College Church, I'm so grateful. I mean, the hours of confession, the hours of masses, baptisms, weddings, all those things, your prayers, your support. The first year as a priest is foundational, and you taught me so much about a ministry and about working and bringing God's words to the people. So you have definitely left a huge mark in my heart, and everything that I do as a priest today, in a way, can be traced to my time at College Church, because again, that first year is so important. So I would like to tell you as a goodbye message until we can see each other again, is that remember what Christ says in the Gospel of John. He says something like, without me you cannot do anything. I think that as a community at College Church, as a Christian community, especially after what we went through, today we need to remember that Christ is extremely essential to our lives, and that we need to keep close to Him, and we need to talk to Him all the time, and we need to bring Him into our life, and to become more and more aware of His presence and of His grace in our lives. I'm sure that Christ wants to use College Church as a beacon of light for St. Louis. He wants to use College Church to remind people that Christ is real, and that Christ is the solution to many problems that people face in society nowadays. So I put myself in your prayers again. I hope you don't forget me when you pray, and that hopefully at some point in the future I can speak to you, not just through a virtual mean, but I can actually be with you in the future, so we can remember past times and laugh and enjoy all the great things that life has to offer. So until that time, I say goodbye to you, and I hope that everything goes well for you in this year, and may God bless you always.
Greetings, St. Francis Xavier community. I'm happy to be joining you virtually from Atlanta, Georgia. I hope that this year's gala is as successful, if not more so, than the years past. Father Dan didn't think that he got enough free labor out of me when I was assigned there, so here I am making this video. I joke. I know that this year has presented many challenges, and some which are ongoing. The same is true for me. With that, however, there have been many blessings in my life. I hope, too, that you have experienced blessings during these trying times. So here I am to share some of those blessings with you. When I left St. Louis in August of 2019, I moved to the Atlanta Jesuit community and started my Masters of Science in Nursing program at Emory University. Despite COVID trying to derail that process, I will graduate this December and will be allowed to sit for the Family Nurse Practitioner and Emergency Nurse Practitioner certifying exams. In 2 short weeks, another blessing will be realized when I move to the Denver, Colorado Regis Jesuit University community. There I will be teaching at the Regis University School of Nursing and pursuing a Doctor of Nursing Practice degree. More importantly, though, and really because I'm tired of talking about myself, I want you to know how blessed I feel to have served at St. Francis Xavier. Your support for the Jesuits, for your local community, for your national community, and especially for your brothers and sisters who are suffering and vulnerable, fill me with great joy and love. I pray that the challenges of this year may be watered down one day by the love you have for the other, for the Church, and for God. I hope that you continue to inspire people to share in that love that you have for one another. May God bless you and your family and all of your endeavors. May you enjoy this night with great fun and laughter. Peace, Father Jason.
Hello friends, Father Matthew Baugh here, coming to you from my office in St. Louis University. I guess if this were a normal year, we'd be over at the Coronado right about now, trading stories and catching up on the year, maybe speculating about which lucky person was going to be the winner of the donut crawl with Father Dan White. I want to let you in on a little secret. The winner every year of the donut crawl with Father Dan White is Father Dan White. He's on it every single year. Crafty guy, he taught me a lot. Anyway, it's a strange year, huh? And all the more strange for me because when I go into work now, it's not to College Church. Here, still at St. Louis University, but at the opposite end of campus. And it's bittersweet for me. I'm loving my new position here at the Catholic Studies Center, but missing you all terribly, missing getting to hear your stories and catching up with you, missing getting to celebrate the liturgy and the other sacraments with you. It was a great, great year for me. My first year of priesthood, what a pleasure it was to be able to celebrate it with you and to learn from you. I'm not totally cut off from College Church now. They let me back occasionally. We and the Catholic Studies Center have a regular weekly Mass over there on Monday nights, so I at least get to be back in the space, and I'm helping out a little bit with faith formation and a few weddings that are left over that had to be rescheduled, and a few new ones from after the onset of the pandemic. So, getting to be there occasionally, but very much missing you and missing getting to pray with you. In my new job here at the university, I'm in the Catholic Studies Center, a fellow over here, and getting back in the classroom and getting to teach, doing some research, working on Catholic political thought, which is my area of specialty. And I warmly recommend to you, if you haven't had a chance yet to read it, the Pope's new encyclical Fratelli Tutti, which is We Are All Brothers and Sisters. This deep insight of his that in this time in our world when politics is so extreme and the divisions are so deep, that basic Christian insight that God makes us all brothers and sisters is an essential foundation from which we can begin building again. It is the first step to dealing with very complex issues that we deal with. So getting to introduce students to some of those ideas and the great treasury of political thought that the church has cultivated over the years. Now, this is a gala after all, so I think that I ought to give you a toast, but it's a virtual gala. And so I've got a virtual glass here, which I'm going to use to toast you. I learned all the skills about how to live in the virtual world, by the way, from Father Dan White, who made me his sidekick on the critically acclaimed Facebook Live TV series, Two Jesuits, what was it called? A Fern Between Two Jesuits. Even I can't remember. It was canceled after only a few episodes. But I learned that in the virtual world, you can carry out all the activities of the normal world. And so I raise a glass to you, toast your good work at College Church, wish you well, keep you in my prayers, and hope to see you very soon. Yeah, we got to get back to the real world pretty soon. This is no good.